Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today we're doing the What's Next on Jaime Munguia, the undefeated former junior middleweight champion at 154 pounds. He's been a middleweight contender now for the last couple years, and he returned to action against some guy named Korea, dominated him in only 3 rounds, and ends his 2022 campaign 3-0, but against just, you know, lackluster competition. A lot of people not happy with Munguia right now, and they want to see him in bigger fights. So now the big question is, what's next for Jaime Munguia? Well, we know he got ordered to fight Janibek Alimkhanuly for the WBO title. The WBO came out after Munguia's fight and ordered that fight. Janibek, it shouldn't be a hard fight to make if he's interested. We'll get to that in a minute when we go through the top 10. But Munguia, you know, definitely needs to step it up. So let's run through the top 10 right now and see what could possibly be coming up for the undefeated former champion. We start with number 1, the unified champ, Triple G Gennady Golovkin. Now, Munguia, after the fight, said, "Hey, Triple G, I'll see you in May of 2023. Now, I don't know if Triple G's interested in this fight. It's not to say that he's not willing to fight Munguia, but Triple G is in an interesting position right now. He has 2 mandatories due, and he's got to fight Esquiva Falcao, the undefeated Brazilian top contender, who's the IBF's mandatory. And then he's supposed to fight Erislandy Lara, who's the WBA regular champion right now. He's supposed to fight him next after that. So, you know, it's tough. It's tough to see, to say who, if Triple G would be interested in giving up one or both belts, because I don't know if the WBA lets him off the hook if he passes on the Falcao fight and gives up the IBF belt. I don't know if the WBA says, okay, you can fight Munguia and then just fight Lara in the second half of the year. Maybe they do that, maybe they don't. But Triple G is a very proud champion. And I find it hard to believe that he would give up one or both belts, especially, in order to fight Munguia. It just depends on if he's going to be allowed to hold on to a world title or not. You know, if the Munguia fight is possible. I absolutely think there's interest there. I know they were talking about fighting this past year and it didn't happen. But, you know, again, Triple G, he even said after the Canelo loss, when in the ring, he said, "Hey, don't forget, I'm still a champion." You know, so that to me says, hey, you know, he still wants to compete for world titles. A lot of the Europeans, it's very important to them to stay a world champion. So, and to be in the world title fights. Dimitri Bivol just said that when it came to Charlo, who challenged him, said, hey, we should do this at 168. And Bivol said, what titles do you have? You know, I'm only going to do it for world titles. So I think that matters to the European fighters a great deal. And I like that, you know, but I would love to see Triple G and Munguia. I think that's a fire fight right there between those two. But I'm just not, I'm leaning towards the less likely that it's going to happen next. Not to say that it can't happen, but I'm leaning towards the less likely. So next up, because technically he's still at middleweight, and again, my top 10 is based on what it was at the mid-year. So that's what I'm still going with until I change them at the end of the year. But you got Demetrius Andrade, the undefeated former champ. Not going to happen. Andrade, we don't know what the fuck he's going to do next. He was supposed to move up to 168. He didn't do it. Supposedly got injured. And we have no idea what's going on with Andrade. Next up, Jermall Charlo, the undefeated WBC champion. I doubt this fight happens. They had an opportunity to make the fight. It didn't happen. I guess in the 11th hour, it fell apart earlier this year. Charlo hasn't fought in a year and a half. He says he's returning in February. I highly doubt it's going to be against Jaime Munguia, so I don't see this one. Erislandy Lara, the WBA regular champion. I'm not seeing this one either. They're with different promotions, and I don't think that they would get the fight done. I just don't see it. Chris Eubank Jr. Eubank is fighting Liam Smith in January. And without a title on the line, I'm just not sure if Eubank's the favorite to beat Smith. But without a title on the line against Munguia, I just don't see Eubank being interested in this fight or this fight getting done. Not to say that it can't get done. I'm just not seeing it. Then you got the undefeated WBO champion, Janibek Alimkhanuly. I really don't think these guys have an option. Janibek said he is not interested in Munguia. He wants the other champions. Well, he's not going to get Charlo, and he's not going to get Triple G. So Janibek should be open to fighting Munguia because it's a big fight. And Munguia should be open to fighting Janibek because it's a big fight and it could get him a world title. But these guys have to want to fight each other. So I think Janibek's going to be interested in a fight. And to be honest, if Triple G doesn't say okay to Munguia, I think Munguia is not going to have any choice but to fight Janibek or keep fighting nobodies. Carlos Adames, is a fight that was explored before to shore up the WBC mandatory. I think if the WBC ordered the fight in the first half of the year, potentially it could happen, but the promoters got to get together also. That's Golden Boy into PBC, and I'm not seeing that. So I'm leaning towards the less likely on that one. Ryota Murata, former WBA champion. He's got ties to Top Rank where Munguia is with DAZN and Golden Boy. So I'm just not seeing that one, especially Murata coming off of the loss to Triple G. And then rounding out my top 10s are, really there's not much else to talk about in my top 10s right now. So for me, you gotta really look at things, Munguia, and he's either, I think there's really three options. I think Janibek Alimkhanuly is most probable if he's going to take a big fight next, and that'd be for a world title. I think that one makes sense. Why not do it? Then if it's a big fight, I think Triple G is an outside option, but I'm just not sure if Triple G is going to want to give up 1 or 2 titles to fight Munguia, but I do think it's possible. And then third would be to fight out of the top 10 again, to fight just stay busy, and I really hope that's not the case. I personally want him to fight Janibek Alimkhanuly for the WBO title next. That's the fight I want to see, but we'll see what Munguia decides to do if he's ready to take those risks. So that's it. That's what I got. That's the what's next on the undefeated former junior middleweight champion Jaime Munguia. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.